Right, so since the last episode, I have done quite a few things, you could say. So I've revisited the original shack that we had, and I looted it. I ended up looting it for bamboo and sugarcane, as you can see, because it's going to be very important with what we're going to be doing today. I've also done a little bit of mining, so we've got quite a bit of copper on the go at the minute. And down here, once we get to the chest, we have got some more diamonds now. We've got 23, we've got more lapis, redstone, coal, iron, gold. Basically, we got more of everything. Yeah, so now we can actually get ourselves a full set of diamonds instead of having part iron. We need sugarcane because a big part of this game is enchanting, especially once we get to the point where we're going to the end. We need all the enchanted gear we have. Yeah, we need it all. So first on the agenda is I need some sand. Yeah, because we're going to make an automatic sugarcane farm. Obviously, at the minute, we've only got 8 sugarcane, but this is something that we're going to be able to make bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go across here and just see if I can find any more sugarcane so we can make this farm even more efficient than it already is. See, what we're doing is we're just going across here to see if we can find any more sugarcane so we can make this farm more efficient than it's already going to be. All right, we've gone quite a bit and there is still none, so I think we're just going to have to deal with having 11 bits of sugarcane. It'll be fine, it'll still be pretty efficient, but I would have rather have more. How it's going to work is the more we have, the more efficient it'll be, because obviously the more that will be growing, so the more that'll be broken. Would have been better if we had more, but it is what it is. That's life. Sometimes you don't get everything you want, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Sugarcane at the end of the day. We need mass production. We need books. All right, so we've got 34 sand. I am hoping that there is enough because we are going to need a decent little snippet of glass for this. So let's whack that in there. Let's get all of our inventory cleared out so we can actually think clearly about what we need and what we're going to use. All right, so we're going to need a little bit of redstone. I need to remember all these different crafting recipes. I do not remember how to make most of these things, so hopefully I've got it in the bag. I've got it on lock. I need iron. This is going to require iron as well. I should have thought about that. Hopefully we're going to have enough to do everything. So we're going to need 11 pistons. That's 11 bits of iron. All right, so that is the 11 pistons that we need made. We're going to need some hoppers as well. So let's grab some chests. We're going to need to make a few of these for this farm. I think we only need one hopper. Hopefully we don't want to be using any more. And I think that is, we need an observer. How do we make an observer? All right, it's a good thing that we went to the Nether because we need some quartz. We need some quartz for an observer. There we go. And I think that is everything that we need apart from the glass. All right, so we can get this started before the glass is done. So it's not too much of a big deal, but we just need to find an area where we want it to be. First of all, around here looks good. Yeah, see, here will be perfect. We'll just break some of these and then we'll just cut down the dirt. All right, so we've got 11 sugarcane, so that means we've got to break this out 11. All right, we've just got to move this back a little bit more so we have more room for everything. We've actually got to grab some more blocks because we've got to think about how we want this to look, because obviously the blocks that we're going to use for the surrounding aren't going to be any redstone blocks, so we want some. Another thing that we will end up doing at some point is an automatic bamboo farm, because it is pretty much the exact same as this, but we just do it with bamboo. All right, so now that we've got the 11 blocks along for the 11 bits of sugarcane, we come to this corner here. We'll dig this out like this, just for the time being. It will get filled back in at some point, but what we need is we need to put, all right, so them 2 chests that we made, we've got to put like this, and then with the hopper we got to get it, and then we got to angle it so it connects into the back like that. So now whatever we throw in should be straight away dispensed into this chest. All right, so now we know that there works. Put this over like that. How far can water actually travel? Not far enough, so we can't do it like this. We've got to shorten it by a little bit. All right, so now to test whether the hopper is actually going to be getting any items, we're just going to throw a bunch of redstone in there. Yes, there we go. So that's all good. That's all good. All right, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, it is all about trial and error. Yeah, because no one's going to be able to do everything first try. Yeah, that's just a little fact. All right, so now we've got to build this so it fits in with the aesthetic of everything else. So what we've got to do is we've now just got to break down this, all this dirt here. Sweet, that there looks good. Bring this around like this, put that like that, break this. Oh, we'll operate that, put that there, and then we break this. And see with the front row here, we've got to come down one block because we are going to end up having glass sat on top of this so we're able to see in. Put it down like that, and at the back here just like this. There we go. And now we've got to get our pistons. Let's just place dirt all along the back here so it makes it easier for us. We've got to grab the pistons, get them to face forward like that. There we go. And then on the end here we're gonna have to get our observer, and then we want it to face forward like this. So hopefully, right, so now we've got our observer facing forward. We've just got to connect it up to all of these like this. So now hopefully it should work. All right, listen, I must be forgiven. Yeah, I am not a redstone guy. Yeah, I don't do redstone. I just had to go, like, I had to watch like a 13-year-old's video on how to make. I don't claim to be a redstone guy, yeah, so I am sorry, but I did mess up the hopper. Not the hopper. I don't claim to be a redstone guy, but I did mess up the observer's rotation. All right, so see now, we've got to go along here just like this. All right, and then we're going to put oak in the middle, like so. Make it too high. All right, and then along the top, we need oak planks again. All right, so now that we have the oak planks on the back, we've got to connect up the redstone to everything here, like this. So now hopefully, let's see, does it work? Yep, it works. All right. So now that's all done, we need to put a roof on it, and we've got to get the glass. First of all, we got to change this because this top one here is meant to be oak plank. It all has to look the same, otherwise I won't like it. All right, and then we just go across with the roof. All right, and then we've got to put some lights in here. You got to have it lit up, and then we're going to put 2 on the outside. There we go. So this here is pretty much done. I've got it the way that it looks the nicest, I believe. It fits in with the sort of the rest of all my builds, even though it is quite far away. But now we just got to put glass on the front, trapdoor over the top of here, and then it should all come together very, very nicely, if I do say so myself. Right, there we go. So that is automated sugarcane farm. This is like the first one that I've ever made. This is the first automated anything. So hopefully all I could do is get better, because at this current minute, I'm not very good. But if you have found this useful, please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to see play next and what you want me to build or whatever. And have a nice rest of your day, evening and week.